G'day guys, we're at FullBOOST Garage where today we have two new project cars for you. Both Subarus, they're both very similar, but they're also very different. But they do share one thing in common, and that is neither will be boxer powered. Here at FullBOOST Garage, we are now offering full mechanical repairs and upgrades. From logbook servicing, brakes and clutches, even engine conversions. We have competitive pricing. For all inquiries, hit us up today. So in what some are calling the Subaru Shop, Luke, there is a method to your madness in terms of choosing all these Subarus, yeah? That's the first question people ask me is, what's with all the Subarus?
Well, look, they're value for money, they're great. They're all-wheel drive, you can make them rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, true.
Wide bay, boxer. There's a lot of go-fast bits off the shelf.
Yeah, and unlike a lot of cars of this era, whether it's base model or an STI, they've all got the same. They're all the same essentially. The chassis is all the same, isn't it?
Subaru's like Lego. One
thing that people probably don't realise who aren't into Subarus, I've owned a few of them, but I don't consider myself a Subaru person.
Me either.
They're just a car. However, one thing that's great is you can essentially bolt in a driveline that's 20 years newer, and it goes together quite easily.
Yeah, they're great. Conversion car, they're great.
Yeah.
I love it.
And in today's day and age, everything is so expensive. So buying these, it's not...
You can almost get them for free.
Well, this one you almost did, yeah?
Yeah, this was going for the scrapyard. And a mate of mine, he just gave me a yell and said, hey, we've got this car down here. It's going to the tip. If you want it, scrap value.
Yep.
And I looked at it and I was like, it's pretty good. Yep. Why not?
All right, so what are our plans? We've got two cars, they both can't be the same.
Two nuggets, same but different. We'll do LS. And what do you reckon?
Well, the only thing that goes with an LS is a Barra.
Got to be the Barra.
So, the EJs are gone.
Gone. No EJs here.
However, I know FullBOOST does a lot of drag content, but I think these cars are great as track cars.
Yeah.
So this one I think we're going to make a bit more circuit orientated. Not high-end car, just something we can have some fun in, Sunday weekend sort of car.
Yeah. Low cost.
Yeah.
Entry level.
Now there is a reason behind the LS.
Yeah.
Fill us in on that.
So during COVID, I got a little bit bored and I had one of these. It was my mum's car and we couldn't even get $3,000 for it. It was super clean, super tidy. It was auto, no one wanted it. And I was bored, so I thought, why not? LS.
Yeah.
So got an LS T56 and it turned out really good.
Yeah, so that's been running and driving for a while now. But the upside is you sort of know what to do.
Yeah.
In terms of mounts.
Yeah, it was a great conversion.
Yeah, and it fits under the engine bay, sorry, it fits in there.
Yeah.
It looks like it was made to go in.
Yeah, everyone that sees it, they're like, that looks factory.
Yeah.
But it handles well. So I thought, why not do a track-orientated version of this?
And the beauty about having a V8 in a light car is you just stick it in any gear and it goes.
Just torquey as, take off in second. It's quicker to take off in second than it is in first.
Yeah, I believe it. So you're familiar with the LS conversion in the Subaru, Luke, but obviously the Barra is...
different kettle of fish.
New, and this car, from the outset, is going to be more of a straight line warrior.
Yeah, total straight line car.
We weren't 100% sure how it was going to go, so we have got a bit of a head start.
Yeah, we tried with the Hammer first,
on this car.
It didn't quite go to plan.
Show us where you're up to, dude.
All right.
Hey, are you telling me, well, it fits under the bonnet?
It does, look out. And here is a handy feature that I found out from the Subaru Club, that we actually have a service hole.
So it goes vertical out of the factory?
Yeah.
That is already set up.
Ready to change your head gaskets.
For head gasket servicing. That doesn't look like it's in the stock mounting location.
Close. It's fitted around the factory FG sump.
Okay.
That was the main concern. They got a bit of a tricky sump arrangement. There's not a lot of aftermarket sumps. Yeah. And they got the main caps tied into the sump. So I thought it was pretty important to get the engine back around that sump so I didn't have to create too many dramas.
And any parts you want to put on it, you obviously want something that's off the shelf.
Yeah.
I can see that you've obviously the firewalls are...
Yeah, we got a bit carried away.
Firewall delete. You did get carried away one night doing that.
Yeah. I started with the hammer and ended with the grinder, and here we are.
Obviously the Barra is quite a tall engine. What have you done there? You've got these mounts, but how much lower is the...
Well, I've had to drop the crossmember. Like, it's not ideal, but it's not a street car. It's a straight line car.
Yeah, so really matter.
I've had to drop the crossmember down 100 mil, which we're using some timber at the moment, but that's obviously going to be steel and reinforced with crush tubes. And then I've solid mounted the engine, as it's, once again, it's a drag car, it doesn't matter. And that's pretty much where we're at. FG radiator, fits. So today we are going to fit the LS in here. We're going to make some mounts, we're going to dummy engine, we're going to get it a fit, we're going to get the gearbox in it. I have just dropped the crossmember down, I think it's 50 mil, as you can see with those spaces there. They're not finished, they will all be welded up to the crossmember. The crossmember's got a bit of a trim in. I have removed that bracket already. That's as far as we've gone.
Alrighty, Luke, I see an LS1 and I see a GC8 with a big gaping hole in it. You've done this before. How do we get that in there?
Always when it comes to engine conversions, it's a clearance issue. So in this case, we need a custom sump. Well, a modified sump. I started with a custom sump and it was just dramas. So I actually got an off-the-shelf sump and modified that and it fitted great. I've dropped the crossmember down 40 or 50 mil, and then that has an effect on your bump steer with your control arms. So we do correct that by bringing the control arms back up, and we'll add a white line correction kit. These engine bays are designed for a boxer, which is a really wide engine, which is great for us. Therefore, we get big header clearance. This car is going to get a Commodore VE gearbox, which is called a TR6060. The one that I've done has got a T56, and it actually fits straight in. But the 6060, they got a remote shifter. That's a little bit, it's hard for conversions, but should be right. Nothing an angle grinder and a hammer can't fix.
That's exactly right. And what's the T56 out of?
T56 is early, so that's like pre-VE.
Oh,
so
okay.
VZ,
Commodore.
there's a bit of a discrepancy with the T56 and the TR6060 with a certain model, but an original T56 has the shifter in the gearbox, and the TR6060 has a remote shifter, and they're so much more bulky. They're hard to work with, but they're a better box.
Oh, strong box.
Yeah, they're strong. So what we're doing, being a car that's going to cop a bit of a pound in, we're better off with the 6060.
Okay, beautiful.
Rear end, I'm not really too sure. I've got an R200 diff for it, which I can cut in. I've also got an XR6 diff. What are they, an M86, I think they're called, out of an XR6 Turbo.
You know better than me.
We might try one of those. We'll just sort of cut our way in and see where we go.
Yeah, beautiful.
But for now, as I have done this conversion, I've got a jig that I've made up for the engine mounts. Hopefully they fit. So we'll try and make some mounts. We'll fit her in. We'll have to have a bit of a talking to with the tunnel with a hammer.
Yep.
And let's make it work. All right, we've just quickly whipped up a couple of mounts. They're not finished. They're just like sort of first trial, tacked up. We will clean them up and cut them up and make them look good. However, this has also saved us a lot of time. Generally, you'd be putting the engine in and out 50 times. Gearbox you'd have to put in, sump you'd have to have on. You'd have to have a lot of other things, radiator, just to get the right position, but we've saved all that because I've already done it. So we're gonna whack these on. We're gonna give the gearbox tunnel a bit of a talking to. Safety first, guys. 2 swings in, I've already got crap in the eyeballs. It's closer than I thought.
Beautiful. So at this stage, is it now a matter of just marking any things that need to be finessed and cut off and blah, 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 and then...
Yeah, basically, yeah. I'll have to get the shifter that I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Like you saw how bulky that thing was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with the way it all fits. We're still going to do the gearbox. Will have to come back. You sort of, I think it's probably a 10 mil spacer plate because we're going to run a left-hand starter motor conversion because it hits the rack.
Okay.
So that's just a little spacer that goes in between the bell housing and the block.
Okay.
About 10 mil thickness, so you just 50-50 the split with the engine and the box. So if you want some mounts for your LS in your Subi, hit us up.
That's it. Got you sorted.
Yeah. We are going to now tackle the shifter, the big ass remote TR6060 bulky shifter and the crossmember. I've dummied up the shifter to see how it fitted, and it actually fits better than I thought. We're going to have to do some trimming, however, I'll show you guys what I've done so far. So this is how it fits. It actually surprisingly fits in. I managed to wiggle all the linkages and the supports for that big ass bulky shifter through there. It's attached to the gearbox. However, you probably can't see, but this is on quite an angle. The back here of this shifter is too high, so we're going to have to cut that into the floor and lower it down. The issue we've got with that is this seat rail brace goes from one side all the way through to the other, and it goes up and over in the tunnel. So we do need that. It is a structural member of the car. We're going to chop it out. We're going to lower it, reinforce it. As long as we've got some tail shaft clearance, we're good to go. The front, it all fits, like I say, better than I expected. However, where the linkage adapts into the box, that's hitting the floor. So we pretty much want this bit here below the floor level. So I'm just going to mark out where it's going to sit as best as I can, and then we'll trim in from that. And then we're going to probably cut right up through here. I'm not going to cut here yet. I'm just going to mark up where I think, it's a bit hard to see this, but this is the underside of the brace, underside of that floor. So the shifter is sort of sitting somewhere around there. So we're going to trim this out on a nice square angle and then pop it out, and then we will basically lower the and reinforce it a little bit lower, as long as it clears the tail shaft, which we've got plenty of room. So that's cut. We'll do the other side, then we will pop it out. When doing this thing, this sort of stuff, it's pretty important to have a clear picture of how you're going to do it, and also trim well and truly back so you've got plenty of room to cut. We have to cut it out in a bit of a triangle just to get in there like that, so we can sort of see what's going on and what we've got to work with. And like I said, we're going to run this beam straight over to there. We've cleaned this one up. We'll do the same. We'll square that up, cut it down, straighten it all up, make it look nice and pretty. So we have got to get the gearbox up a little bit further. We're going to go up probably about another inch. It's on a bit of an angle. The issue that we're having is that shifter linkage is hitting on the floor. There's a member here. This is for the original Subaru gearbox, for the gearbox cross member. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to whip the gearbox back out. All right, so we have here, this is the selector housing on the box. Now this is we're having a bit of a clearance issue. This is the member in question, the one that was for originally mounting the Subaru gearbox. We might end up chopping the whole thing all the way through. We'll just see how we go, but we'll just do a little bit by little bit. This is pretty much how it fits up in the car now. I'm pretty happy with it. The shift is now pretty level, selects all gears. Nothing's bolted in. I've just got a bit of a brace in there, just chopping it up. But I will sheet metal all this. I did go a little bit excessive on this hole, but it really needed clearance more around the front, but hey, it doesn't matter, we'll just plate it up. So that's pretty much a wrap for today. We've got the engine dummied up, we've got the gearbox dummied up. I'm happy with the position of everything. Shifter's good. It actually worked out better than I thought. I get to use the factory shifter, which is great. And next up, I wouldn't mind getting the bay ready for some paint. I don't really need to do any more fab up in here. I'm pretty confident with everything else. It's just going to go in. We're going to wrap the car soon. We might even move over to the barrel-powered one and get onto that. So we'll see how we go, but either or, it'll be one of these two. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching and see you next time.